Hi GAFE class crew. This is my final project. I hope you enjoy what I'm about to show you, and I think you might be surprised. It doesn't look like I've got that much. So if I show you, this was the main task, to create some forms that would help the students to gain a greater understanding of how to follow the new rubric that we have been piloting at our school for design and technology. Just looks like a form, right? Looks like it takes half an hour to make. It's actually taken 3 weeks to make this, and that's because there were so many things that came up when I began this task that I thought would be quite a simple task. Some of those things were having an understanding of the definitions of the different words, for example, that we use in our department. Things like having a consensus over what tasks we should set the students. All these things arose whilst I was doing this task. Other things that took so long were getting feedback from various people. So I actually got feedback from quite a few people. Got this Google document here, and so my head of department was quite happy, said it's a good idea what I was doing, and he gave me some advice to give a bit of explanation of some of the command terms, which I think was really good feedback. Also from one of the IT colleagues, Ivan, he gave me loads of feedback. As you can see, I have put the positives in yellow, and I've put the improvements or feedback for improvements in blue. So this seems to be the main problem that I've had with showing this form to students and teachers, is them mentioning that it's very text heavy, and this would be one of the main things that have learnt from this and would change in the future, which I will be changing because I'm in the middle of trying to create this for all of the assessment stages, not just inquiring and analysing, is to make it less text heavy. I did take his advice, and I spoke to the EAL coordinator, and he actually gave me some positive feedback. For example, he said it's a really good activity for the kids because one of the things we expect them to have is a working knowledge of the rubric without ever actually teaching them, and that was exactly the reason why I did this project, because we kind of throw the rubric at the kids, expect them to be able to follow it and use it and achieve the highest level without actually explaining how to do that and what it means and how to read it. So I really appreciated that. Again, he said things such as some of it was a little bit confusing, so in that case, because of that, I did make a lot of changes, and he actually gave me some help with that rewording. Sorry for scrolling back and forth. So Ivan, yeah, he gave me that feedback about it being very word heavy. And he also told me that it'd be a good idea to add a link to the rubric on the actual form. That was great advice, and I did that, which makes such a difference. And also mentioned the fact that this is not a quiz of speed or a form of completing it quickly, but to complete it in your own time so you get a genuine understanding, which is something that I hope I've made clear in the video I'll show you later. And he said about providing example questions with answers. This is something I'd like to work on, especially things like in the developing ideas stage where you'll see a lot of students create drawings. It'd be nice to be able to show a piece of work and then ask the students on the form to give a level and why they would give that. I haven't quite got there yet, but I have tried to do some more example type questions, and I did this because of the feedback from Jessie. As we're looking here, one of my colleagues from my department, he mentioned down below here, also more thinking questions might help and make more sense to them. So I've tried to do that with some of my questions. Good and bad feedback. He actually tried one of these, I keep calling it a quiz, but I guess it's a quiz or a form, out with his year 7 students, and the feedback he's given me, it seemed to get the students to actually view the rubric, which is always good. Most of them managed to do it in 1 or 2 tries. However, some of them took 80 minutes. This has made me think this might be better to do it as a flipped classroom, I guess, and get the students to do this for their homework and then discuss in class what they have learned from doing the form. It says most students managed to do it in 15 minutes, so I think if that was the case, that would be quite ideal to set as a homework. Problems, he said only about 40% of them said it would help them understand how to follow the rubric, which is a bit upsetting that it hasn't been as successful as I hoped. But at the same time, he has mentioned below that he's already explained the rubric to the students and been through it with them before showing them this quiz. So maybe they, I don't know, maybe they thought that wasn't quite as, sorry, what I was trying to say was that maybe they already felt they had an understanding from previously. I said, overall, I think it was somewhat helpful to get them aware of the rubric. And when I spoke with Jessie, my colleague, about this, this was one of the goals that we thought of in our department since we've started doing the pilot. It's just trying to get the kids aware that this rubric exists and you need to use it to understand how you can achieve higher levels or achieve your levels. So I think even if the most basic feedback right now is that it's creating awareness, then that's good. Obviously, there's a way for me to go. I think we've already looked at the feedback from the EL teacher, and also I showed some of my keywords definitions to the actual MYP DT coordinator in Wales, and he actually said they sound sensible, which is good, and give a base understanding, which is suitable for year 7 to 8, which was really nice feedback. And he gave me just a small little pointer to put EG instead of IE in one of the definitions. But that was really good to know that I'm on the right track before I share it with my department and the students. Okay, so the real feedback from the students, we heard from some of the year 7s. I also tried this on a couple of my year 9 students, just literally because they were in the room, they'd finished their work, and I was like, I need some feedback. So this was the feedback from one of my EAL students who is definitely very underconfident in speaking English and written English. But I actually got some quite nice feedback from her. She said to the answer, do you look at the rubric normally before or during an assessment? She said, not really, because I don't really get how it works. So that for me really highlighted the fact that doing this is worthwhile. Would you look at the rubric more during an assessment now you have completed the quiz? And she said, I think I would, because now I get how does grading work. So again, positive. Don't know if she's trying to be nice here, but she said that it's a good quiz for the table. It was hard to see and fill in. I think she means for the grid. So I actually took out that grid that she mentioned because it was too confusing. And also she pointed out a mistake I had actually made originally, which is with one of the levels I'd got incorrect. And then Maylin, she's given me some nice feedback as well, so that she's really understood why I would give this out to the students. she's explained it's made her look more at the rubric and how to achieve a high level. She gave me some feedback, which was, some of it was a little confusing as there is different format for the questions. So something I tried to finish on the final one I've created is only have multiple choice, and there's one just grid where it's a matching task. She said I prefer the same format. I have to say, when I read the questions carefully, I did understand, but there is a lots of words. So again, that's still something I need to work on. Now, I cannot take credit for the actual rubric document that will go with the quiz. I have taken it from Jessie, my colleague, and modified it a little bit for myself, and obviously this will probably be shared with the whole department. So I can't take credit for most of this, maybe the keywords and some of the format, but that was really, really beneficial to have that ready to put there for the kids to look at whilst completing the form. So different things I've been using. Flubaroo, as you can see, to get the feedback from students. I've also, as you can see, been using Google Docs, and obviously my final project was the Google Forms, so I've been using Google Forms. Screencast to do the video for the students as well. I found using these Google apps so amazing. Obviously for my final major task, which is creating this form, but if we look on my Google, you can see on the Google Drive that I have been using it quite a lot with my Year 8. I've been using it to give them back feedback on their tasks. Same with my Year 11s, it's been really amazing. And I've been doing peer assessment tasks with them. So I think we can have a quick look at this one. Getting them to look at each other's work and then put the written feedback onto the form and then share it with the whole class, so they all have access to see what each other thinks of each other's work, basically, and that was really awesome. Also presentations. So I got my students to create group presentations using Google Presentations, and it was the first time they'd used it. They loved the research tool, same as my Year 11s. Thank you for those of you that posted that. So I guess the final thing is to show you the video. However, I've just seen that we're on 13 minutes, so that's not going to be quite so possible. I could show you just a couple of minutes of it. Just to finish off, did I meet my goal? Yes and no. It's definitely a work in progress. I've learned a million things doing the Google Apps class, GAFE class, that has made my life easier, but also it's really helped me connect with the students learning, especially giving them feedback. Yeah, it's been really, really beneficial, so thank you so much. And here's I'll just show you 1 minute of this quick.
Assigned you the task of completing this form. This form will help you to gain a greater understanding of how to use the Inquiring and Analysing Assessment rubric. As you can see at the top of this form, there is a link. So as soon as you open the form, please click on the link. Now we're on the Inquiring and Analysing rubric, and you can see this is a Google document.
Okay, so I can see I'm nearly on 15 minutes, so thank you very much.